Week 59 on a GLP-1, and today I'm going to share with you everything I ate on a normal weekday. If you're on a GLP-1 and you're navigating side effects and decreased appetite and just living your life on a GLP-1, hopefully you can get some inspiration or some ideas for your own journey. Stick around to the end for a little special shout out to you because you are amazing. So let's go. If you're new here, hi, I'm Bobby. I just took my 59th shot. I'm on Zepbound, 0.75 milligrams. I've been on that for about a little over 4 months. That dose continues to work well for me. My starting weight was 210.1 pounds back about 13 and a half months ago. And my weight right now is somewhere in the low 170s. Next week is my monthly weigh-in where I'll catch you up on what's happening with the scale and my body composition. But spoiler alert, things are like going in the right direction. I'm someone who didn't really struggle with my weight until after menopause, and then nothing I did helped. And once I started a GLP-1, I was able to lose weight again, slowly and steadily. The other thing that really helped after menopause is that I am on hormone replacement therapy, and that really helped. Not with weight loss at all, it didn't help that, but it did help with my joints not being so achy so that I could be active and not keep getting injured and needing to rest and recuperate more and just feeling like not well enough to be as active as I wanted to be. So now I can be as active as I want to be. I'm also getting down to a healthier weight for my body, and my health markers that were all going in the wrong direction after menopause have all reversed, and things like my blood pressure and my blood sugar are all normal now. So sharing with you what I eat today, I picked a not particularly busy work day because a few months ago I tried to do a what I eat in a day on a busy work day, and it was kind of a hot mess. I'll link to it here. But I was just so busy focused on work that I feel like the video I made about what I ate ended up a little sloppy, I guess I'd say. I mean, you still got to see what I ate, but it wasn't the video that I imagined making. So hopefully this one will go better. So what I eat today, it was a day where I had a few clients and I had some administrative stuff to do with my regular work. I'm a therapist, I'm a licensed psychologist. And so I have a private practice and I work from home. So there's always some administrative stuff with like my website and, contacting potential new referrals and things like that. So it was just kind of a medium busy day so that I knew I'd have some energy and some focus to document what I was eating. One thing I did for this day is I purposely didn't plan ahead what I was going to eat. I didn't want it to be really curated, like an ideal what I eat in a day. I wanted it to just be like what I actually ate. And so I didn't, plan out what I would eat that day ahead of time or do any special grocery shopping. So you'll see the breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snack that I actually ate, given just me going about my business. I wanted it to be like a nothing special day of how I'm eating. One thing that's a little different is I'm navigating a dilemma. It's not a huge deal. It's self-imposed. I'm navigating figuring out how I'm going to eat on trail because I'm getting back into backpacking and I'm going to do some overnight trips. And when you're backpacking, you want to carry lightweight food, meaning calorie dense, as many calories per ounce. And usually what that means is a pretty high fat diet. And if you know about GLP-1s, high fat diets don't really agree with us, right? I know that 2 times I've had really bad diarrhea on a GLP-1. I had eaten out and I had eaten an uncharacteristically greasy meal both nights. And I am not even gonna get into what happened after those dinners, but suffice to say, fatty meals do not agree with my digestion, and that is consistently what the research shows too on GLP-1s. So what do I do if I want to carry like 2, 3, 4 days worth of food with me and I don't want to be carrying, a crazy heavy amount of weight? Well, I'm experimenting with that. So the snack that I had today I'm testing out different snacks that I would eat on the trail to see how they react when I'm at home, near a toilet, basically. And so the snack I eat today isn't one I would normally eat at home, but I did, this week when I filmed this video, I was testing out trail snacks. In general, my eating philosophy is that I want it to be easy and healthy, and I kind of want minimal effort. It has meant ordering ready-to-eat meals from a healthy meal delivery service, and in general, I would say the best thing that's helped me is meal prep. Like putting a couple hours aside on a Sunday to prep things so that my meals during the week when I'm busy on work, I can assemble meals with minimal effort. And you'll see what I mean when we get to dinner time. I'm really not recommending, like, you should go eat what I eat for breakfast and lunch and dinner. Your body and the way you respond to your GLP-1 medication and your appetite and your routines, all of these things are going to affect how you structure your eating. But I'm hoping that by showing you just a real day of what I eat, maybe it'll give you some inspiration for you to curate your own individual way of eating. It doesn't have to look like anyone else's. One more thing, I am not a medical doctor and I'm not your therapist, so none of this is medical advice or mental health advice. This is just my personal experience that I'm sharing here on YouTube. Always talk to your own healthcare providers when you're making decisions for yourself. So real quick, my goals for eating, I've arrived at with the help of my dietitian, and I'm 5'9", and I'm fairly active, even though you'll hear me talk all the time, because it's true, that I'm a lazy bones. I never really want to be active, but I make myself, and I don't regret it after I do it, but I always need to just get myself moving. It doesn't come naturally to me. Anyway, because of my activity level and, I'm not petite, I have a pretty high caloric need. So my dietitian told me I shouldn't eat less than 1,500 calories a day. And to lose weight, I probably should stick to a maximum of 1,700 calories a day. And that's been working for me. I have slowly and steadily been losing weight over the past year plus. I have had people come for me in the comments saying things like, "You'll never lose weight on 1,700 calories. Fire your dietitian." And I'm like, really? Have you seen what's happened to me in the past year? I'm not making this up, but whatever. Like I said, everyone's needs are different, and I'm sure there are people out there who would gain weight eating the amount of calories that I eat. And I think that I would be really tired and really malnourished if I ate the smaller amount of calories that other people need to eat. It's just all personal. So, I didn't mean to go off on that tangent. My goals that I try to hit every day are to not eat more than 1,700 calories, but to not eat less than 1,500 calories, to get 100 grams of protein, 25 to 35 grams of fiber, and to not go over 150 grams of carbs. So I'll go over at the end if I, how well I met those targets. Starting with breakfast. The breakfast I made today could have been something that I would meal prep. I didn't this week. I just hadn't meal prepped my breakfast. If you've seen other episodes, you know that I struggle to meal prep consistently. So, it didn't happen this week. I'm still eating breakfast every day, but I'm just spending the 10 minutes or so to make breakfast every morning because I didn't get my act together to make everything ahead of time. But this is definitely something that can be made ahead of time, and I have done that before. So anyway, I ate an oats and chia bowl for breakfast, and you can see what's in it. There's frozen blueberries, old-fashioned oats, chia seeds, chopped pecans, peanut butter powder, and a little Greek yogurt to kind of bump up the protein. And I used half a cup of oatmeal and also a half a cup of blueberries. Then I added 2 tablespoons of PB2, 2 tablespoons of chia seeds. You know how much I love chia seeds. And a cup of water. Then I microwaved it for, I set it for 2 minutes initially, and then I stirred it, and I think it needed another minute or two. Old-fashioned oats are not the quick cooking oats, so depending on, what oats you use, your mileage may vary, but it tends to take me about 3 minutes, I think, to cook old-fashioned oats in the microwave. And then after I cooked it, I added 2 tablespoons of pecans. I add those after I microwave it just so that they stay crunchy because they get kind of soft in the microwave. And then I added a 1/4 cup of non-fat Greek yogurt because I felt like maybe this breakfast needed a little more protein, and it makes it creamier too, which is nice, but honestly I added it for the protein. And then once I stirred it all up, looks like this kind of unappetizing bowl of goo, but it tastes really good. It tastes like blueberries and oats and nuts and stuff. And when I want a warm breakfast, this is usually the one that I go to, some form of oatmeal. Okay, so let's look at the nutritional information for this breakfast. It came out at 400 calories, 47 grams of carbs, 16 grams of fat, 20 grams of protein, and 12 grams of fiber. 20 grams is kind of the minimum of protein I want to get for a meal, so I'm glad I added that Greek yogurt. I think I've been tracking and stuff long enough that I was able to kind of suss out by looking at my breakfast, like, oh yeah, let me add a little Greek yogurt. Overall, I'm pleased with these macros. I didn't know the exact macros when I made the breakfast, but I had a general idea. I've eaten this enough times. I just don't have it memorized, but I just kind of knew, like, this'll do. And it does. If I'm trying to hit a minimum of 1,500 calories a day, then a 400 calorie breakfast is decent because usually my dinners are higher in calories anyway. So I'm pleased with how this breakfast went. The only thing I think I would do differently is if I had meal prepped it ahead of time, it would have been easier and I would have thanked, past Bobby for having it ready. But honestly, making it was not a big deal. It doesn't take that long. It's just, a minor time saver to have it done ahead of time, but it just doesn't always happen. This kind of warm oatmeal breakfast is gentle on my stomach. And you'll notice there's not a ton of fat in it because when my stomach's really empty, I've noticed that's when a higher fat meal can create some GI distress. Before I was on a GLP-1, I would have added some kind of sugar or sweetener to this breakfast, like some brown sugar or some maple syrup, but I've lost a lot of my sweet tooth on a GLP-1. And so with the PB2, which has a little bit of sugar in it, and the blueberries, this was sweet enough for me. But yeah, a little splash of maple syrup or tablespoon of brown sugar or something wouldn't mess up this meal at all if I had wanted it to be a little sweeter. This is just one of my reliable morning formulas of putting oatmeal in a bowl and then adding things that add to the fiber and protein that's already in the oats and that will taste good. So you might have your own reliable morning formula. Tell me about it in the comments, because I know we all learn a lot from each other. When I don't want something warm, a couple of my other reliable morning formulas are smoothies and yogurt parfaits. I've talked about those in other videos. But it's nice to just have a few things on rotation that I know I like and that are nutritious and that agree with my stomach. If you're enjoying this, remember to like and subscribe. It helps YouTube show this to people who are looking for this kind of content, people who are on GLP-1s and wondering what people on GLP-1s eat. If you like this, YouTube is more likely to show it to people and they can find this. So it helps the channel and it helps other people. Thanks. Okay, let's go to lunch next. If you've seen any of my other videos, you might have heard me talk about Thistle. It's the meal delivery service that I often use. I'll use it for a few weeks and then I won't use it for a few weeks. It's really helpful to help me get back on track after a vacation. So this was a week where I did have Thistle meals delivered and this salad was my lunch. This isn't sponsored. This is just a meal service that I use. I do have an affiliate link that I'll put in the description that gives you some kind of discount. It varies, and I don't know exactly what that discount will be at the time that you're watching this, but if you want to check it out for yourself, it's there. So this was my lunch today, and I did set a timer for 1 p.m. so that I would eat lunch around lunchtime. This is something that I've started to do. I felt kind of silly doing it, but working with my dietitian, I was just like, I think I just need to set a timer to eat. Oh, I'm thirsty. Because I would just get in the flow of work and not feel hungry and not eat. So I set a timer, ran down, made the salad, and ate it because I had a break from 1 to 2. There's some pretty reliable components of the salads that Thistle provides that you could totally do yourself if you didn't want to order delivery. There's always a bed of greens that varies. Today it was spinach. And then there's some kind of protein. Thistle meals are by default plant-based, but you can add chicken to it. So this one I had chicken, but I think if I had done the default route, they might have had beans on there as the protein. I'm not sure. And then they've always got some kind of starchy carb, like a whole grain or sweet potatoes or something like that. And then some nuts and seeds, some kind of like fun things for texture and flavor, and some kind of unique dressing. So this combination is really easy to build at home, and that is what I do on the weeks that I prep salads for myself. I'll link to the video when I talk about my salad meal prep, and I make them in these jars, and it's really cute. It's just not something that I did this week. But basically, it's like a very similar formula where I'm hitting the greens and the protein and the grains and everything, and varying the different ingredients to keep it interesting. Okay, let's go over the nutritional information of this lunch. Today it was called the Togoroshi Pop Salad with roasted chicken. And it has 500 calories, 35 grams of carbs, 26 grams of fat, 36 grams of protein, and 6 grams of fiber. So that's a great meal for lunch for me. Usually the Thistle meals are right in the target of what I'm looking for, and that's one of the reasons that I order from them, is that their meals are in line with what my nutritional goals are. But so are my salad jars. So yeah, that was my lunch, and I'm going to share my snack next. Okay, so like I was talking about earlier, my snack today is part of my snack and meal testing for my backpacking adventures that are going to happen. So today for a snack, it was around 5 p.m. and I actually was getting kind of hungry, but I knew I wasn't going to eat dinner for a couple hours, so I had a snack. And I ate a 100-calorie pack of almonds and some freeze-dried apples. This isn't normally something I would grab at home, particularly, really what I mean, the freeze-dried apples aren't something that I would normally eat at home. I would just eat an apple, but the freeze-dried apples are so lightweight that I am experimenting with eating freeze-dried fruit for on the trail. And I didn't know like if the apples would agree with me or not. I couldn't think of a reason why they wouldn't. But, you know, I didn't know, and I didn't want to find out when I was out in the wilderness. So, spoiler alert, they were fine. And the almonds I knew were fine. But I'm just being kind of careful. So almonds and freeze-dried apples are definitely on my list of things to snack on when I'm hiking, you know, a lot of miles. And I found out by eating it as a snack today. And it sort of tided me over until dinner. Sometimes I question, what am I doing? Do I really want to strap a heavy bag on my back and wander off into the wilderness? But actually, yeah, I do. You might have zero interest in backpacking, totally okay. But this might be helpful to you just in terms of that idea of experimenting with new foods to see if they agree with your digestion, like doing that when you know you don't have to go anywhere, you can be at home, you can be near the bathroom in case anything happens. I'm not being super systematic. I don't have a spreadsheet or anything, but I am just trying to nail down, like, what can I eat that I know agrees with me so that I don't have to worry about it when I'm out and about. Okay, the nutritional information for the snack. The almonds and the apples together were 130 calories. This was a small snack. I just, needed something to tide me over for a couple hours until dinner. It had 10 grams of carbs and 10 grams of fat, 4 grams of protein, and 2 grams of fiber. It was a nice kind of crunchy snack to have to sort of keep my blood sugar stable and bump up my calories a little bit so that I'm not going under my target. But mainly the reason I had this snack was because I was hungry. Editing Bobby, I totally forgot that when I had the snack, it was after I had come back from a 45-minute rucking walk. So no wonder I was hungry. And I knew I didn't want anything really big because it was just a couple hours till dinner. So I forgot that when I recorded this. Okay, let's go to dinner. If you've seen any of my past videos, you'll recognize this kind of dinner because I've mentioned these ingredients a lot. I had not meal prepped my dinners this week, so when dinner time rolled around and I wanted something fast and easy, I made some low-carb pasta with some marinara sauce and some chicken that I had meal prepped. So it's not 100% true that I didn't meal prep this dinner because I had prepped just some chicken breasts earlier in the week. So I took one of those chicken breasts, chopped it up, and I measured out 4 ounces for this dinner and put 4 ounces of chicken in with 3 ounces of carbonara pasta. It's called al dente brand carbonara pasta. And then the sauce I really like right now is the Rouse arrabbiata sauce. It's spicy. So I used a cup of arrabbiata sauce. So if you look at the serving sizes of these things, I'm not totally following the serving sizes because 2 ounces of pasta is what's listed on the nutritional label as a serving, but I ate 3. And a half a cup of the marinara sauce is listed as a serving, but I ate 1 whole cup. So I just made a big pasta dinner that I wanted to eat. I know that these portions work for me. It took me a while to eat it because it was a pretty big bowl of pasta. I ate maybe half of it and then I set it down, and maybe like 45 minutes later I noticed it and I was like, ooh, dinner, and ate the rest of it. I think that speaks to how our stomachs empty slower with GLP-1s. So I wanted to get this much dinner into me, but I also wouldn't have felt good if I'd eaten it all at once. But this is a very typical dinner for me. It was almost a no-brainer that I was like, what am I going to eat? I've got the chicken prepped. I know I'll make pasta. That was my thought process. So let's look at the nutrition information. This dinner had 597 calories, 48 grams of carbs, 20 grams of fat. It's almost all from the arrabbiata. It has quite a bit of olive oil in it. 57 grams of protein. That's because the low-carb pasta is high in protein and then I added chicken to it, so it was like, wow. And 11 grams of fiber. That's the low-carb pasta. It's a high-fiber food. Editing Bobby again. Oh my God. I am so sorry, you guys, how much I say the word like. It's driving me crazy. It's in so many sentences. I almost just said it just now. I almost said it's in like all my sentences. I grew up in LA. What can I say? In the 80s. I'm editing out a whole bunch of them, but I'm sure I won't get all of them. And it's getting on my nerves. I hope it's not too bad to listen to me saying, I like ate breakfast and I like had this for lunch. Oh my God. I don't know what to say. I don't even know that I'm doing it. So I felt good about this dinner. I knew I would. I've had it before. I don't always add diced chicken breast. I often add ground turkey or chicken sausage. But I know that when I add protein to this pasta and this sauce that I get a dinner that, you know, not only that I like, but that helps me meet my goals. In fact, I usually eat this meal like once or twice a week for dinner. So yeah, this was a pretty typical day of eating for me. It's the groove that I'm in right now with the foods that are appealing to me and that agree with me. Let's look at the totals and see how they line up with my goals that I went over earlier in the episode. So I said that I wanted to stay between 1,500 and 1,700 calories, and I did that. I hit just over 1,600 calories. I wanted to stay under 150 grams of carbs, and I'm at 140, so that's good. Woo! I want to get 100 grams of protein or more a day, and I got 117, so yay me. Woo! And I want to get between 25 and 35 grams of fiber per day, and I got 31 grams. Woo! I am kind of surprised that I did so well, but you know what? I'm not, because none of these meals were unfamiliar to me. They're things that I've had before, so I had a pretty good feeling that that day of eating would be solid and in line with my goals. The reason why I'm a little surprised is because sometimes I feel like, oh yeah, I'm totally on track and everything. And then when I go and I track it, because I don't track every day, I track it and I'll be like, actually, I'm not eating enough, or it hasn't happened that I've been eating too much. It has happened that I think I'm really on track and actually I'm under eating on a GLP-1. Eating too much was what would happen before GLP-1s. Now when I err in one direction or the other, it's usually I'm not eating enough. So it's not a total accident that this day looks good to me. It's from kind of knowing what meals meet my nutritional goals and kind of eating those meals on repeat, but also having enough variety in them that I can not get totally bored. I don't think that if I had had raspberries instead of blueberries at breakfast, or if instead of diced chicken I'd had ground turkey, none of those things are going to totally throw off my macros and make them really different, but it gives me the variety that I want. Or that salad from Thistle, they deliver different salads for every day. And I don't think it was like that particular salad that made the difference. I think any of their salads have right about the same macros. And same thing with my other breakfasts that I like to eat a lot, the yogurt parfait and the smoothie, is that I know that if I have those, that it's got what I'm looking for. So yeah, I'm kind of proud of myself that I hit these things without planning specifically this day, but also there was a lot of planning. It was just like a long time ago planning that I've implemented, and I'm just kind of like doing it on repeat, if that makes sense. Special shout out to my viewers who are so supportive of me. Thank you so much for your support in the comments. When I posted last week about boycotting Amazon and why, I wasn't sure how that would go down, but the last many videos I've made, I felt a little disconnect between how I was showing up, like everything is fine, and how I was actually feeling the other 6 days, 23 and a half hours of the week, because things are rough right now and it's a scary time. I'm not used to having an audience, so I'm figuring out how to be responsible and how to show up as myself. And I didn't know what would happen, but what happened is you guys are awesome and supportive. And did I lose some subscribers? Yes, that's okay. That is not my main concern. My main concern is that we have a functioning democracy. And if you're watching this and you're like, oh, she's talking crazy, I'm out of here, then yeah, that's fine. There's lots of GLP-1 content online, and I'm going to continue to post about my GLP-1 health journey, but I'm also just going to be myself. And one of the things that's stressing me out is what's going on in our country right now. And if that makes me lose all credibility for you, you can, find a channel that you like better. Let me know what meals you love to eat on repeat. I always learn from you guys in the comments. Responding to comments is my favorite part of having this channel, so talk to me. If you're still here, thank you so much for watching to the end. If you want to know more about how I eat on a daily basis, watch this video next. And I love you guys. See you next week. Bye.